frame. Testing, testing. Hi everybody, my name is Alexa McWilliams and welcome to my channel. This is the first one, yay! I'm very excited to be starting a new chapter in my life and a new journey. I'm ready to start documenting myself and my life and to share my journey and my transition. I guess I should preface that I'm a transgender female and I've been transitioning for about 4 years now, and I would love to finally tell my story and be able to reach out to those that I feel really need help. I think everyone could be educated, especially in the political environment in which our society is in right now. I think it's very crucial that people like me come out and share our stories. What I'm going to talk about today is my coming out story and how I realized, I guess, that I was transgender. Now this can be different for everyone, and well, it is different for everyone. Everyone's journey is different and everyone discovers themselves at different times in life. I think that we all need to be in a certain point in our lives to be able to handle the different things around us and the different challenges. And regardless of where you're at though, I think it's just always important to take time and to listen to yourself and listen to what your heart is telling you. If something doesn't feel right or something keeps kind of popping up into your mind over and over again, it's probably time to listen to that voice inside of you and do things that make you happy and go for it. Life really is too short to sit around and play woulda, coulda, shoulda. Alright, so I was about, I would say, between the ages of 3 and 4. I definitely remember being in like preschool, kindergarten, and I definitely remember always just having like a weird feeling that something wasn't right in my private parts, and I just always had this sense of kind of disgust, and I always wished at that time, I remember very vividly remembering, I wish that these parts would go away, that I wish I could have what mommy has. And every day I used to think, well, when I wake up, maybe they'll be gone, and the next time I use the restroom, I'll have what mommy has. And that was not the case. I do want to preface that sexual orientation and gender identity are two separate things, but at this time I was realizing that I did have an interest in boys. I always remember, kind of checking out all the other guys that were like in my classes and stuff, and I just, I always remember playing house. I always used to pretend that I was a mom to a lot of my stuffed animals, and of course the little crushes that I had in classes, I'd be like, they're the dad. So I knew very early on that, for some reason I liked boys, even though I was told that I'm a boy and I'm supposed to like girls. But nonetheless, as I got to my teen years, that's when I started kind of, I knew at that point, I knew what my sexuality was, but this thought and this like memory that I had as a young child, questioning my genitalia, always kept coming up, and it was something that I always tried to, kind of push off to the side and act like it didn't exist, even though it did. And so of course I just thought, society tells us, well, at this point, like, I'm kind of like realizing, oh well, like, there's gay people, so I just thought, well, that has to be it. Like, it has to just be my sexuality then. Like, I have to just be gay. That's why I always wanted to, wear mom's clothing and play with dolls and Barbies and pretend like I was a mom and stuff like that. And so I actually lived this way and identified as a gay male for many years, actually. It didn't come out until, I want to say, my junior year of high school. Junior of high school? I think it might have been my junior year of high school, because then I ended up having a boyfriend then going into my senior year, which I can do a whole nother story time on my first boyfriend experience. If you guys want, I can definitely film that. I would love to share that story. Alright, so now we're finishing up high school and we're getting ready to go into college. Now at this point, I was very frustrated and I was unhappy, even though I thought at this point that I was very happy. I kind of thought, oh, I have my life together, I know what I want to go to college for, and I don't know, I kind of was happy to a certain extent, I guess. Like, I felt content, but like I knew in the back of my mind that like something still just wasn't, you know, feeling fulfilled within myself. But you know, I tried to just put it off, and I thought, well, let me just go to college, let me explore. And that's when I really started getting into makeup. So this is now 2013. I was going into college, and I started, you know, playing with makeup, and I was really able to kind of dress and like wear whatever I wanted. So of course I was wearing a lot of women's clothing, and I was kind of dressing like that all of the time. So I went to an art school, and of course there was a really, really, really large LGBTQ community there, and so I definitely felt more safe. I felt comfortable. I felt like I fit in, and I just kind of like went for it. I was doing makeup, and at this point I was like, you know, watching YouTube videos, and I was like finding people on YouTube that also were, you know, doing makeup and stuff, and I learned about this idea of being androgynous, and of course I was obsessed with Jeffree Star. So, you know, I kind of just thought, well, maybe it's just that I'm gay and I like to wear whatever the hell I want, and I'm gonna wear whatever the hell I want. And that's kind of just what I did for a while. But there was still in the back of my mind, I just still felt so incomplete and unwhole, is probably the best way that I, you know, can like explain it. And I hadn't really been dating anyone at this point. I didn't really date anyone in college, actually. And it wasn't until my sophomore year then I just started like doing a lot of research. Like one thing just led to the other, getting into makeup tutorials. I was a huge fan of Gigi Gorgeous, actually, back when she was so Gregory Gorgeous. And I actually been following her at that time, and I remember it was actually like towards the end, whatever, of my freshman year, like mid to end of my freshman year of college. She actually came out about being trans, and that is sort of when it kind of clicked for me that, you know, I don't know, like I'm really identifying with this person and the story that they're telling and the feelings that they felt. So then fast forward back to, you know, my sophomore year, I just started doing a lot of research. What are transgender women? How do you transition? And, you know, so forth. And I just started finding more people, and the more and more I found, the more and more of a connection I felt like I had to these people, and something just made sense about it. And I, you know, at the time was kind of like, okay, well, maybe I'm trans, but I don't know if I could transition. And you know, it actually wouldn't be until a whole nother like year and a half until I actually transitioned. So if you're out there and you're feeling this way, and you know, you're really like questioning yourself in that, just know that you're not alone, and just, you know, do as much research as you can. Just take it each step at a time, and you know, just, you know, really just get in tune with yourself, and you know, just find people that you can connect with and that you can relate to, and I promise you, like, you will get through and you will figure yourself out. So I think, where am I at now? I'm losing my train of thought. Oh, yeah. Okay. So you know, I had done a bunch of research. So then by the time that I got to my junior year, I was just, I was so unhappy. Like looking back at it now, like I was just so unhappy. I was so confused, and I just did not feel like myself. I just felt so uncomfortable in my skin that like I kind of like hit a breaking point. And you know, I realized, I was like, I know I'm transgender at this point. Like, I know I'm a woman, and I know I've always felt like a woman, and I need to do something about it now, because I am unhappy, and I'm, you know, I'm miserable with myself. You know, I was closing myself off. I wasn't going out. I wasn't, you know, I just didn't want to be around people. I didn't want to socialize because I felt disgusting. And it just, you know, the anxiety, and you know, the gender dysphoria that, you know, I was feeling at that time was just, it was immensely crippling, is the best way I can put it. So October of 2015, it might have been like the end of September of 2015, I said, you know what, like, I have dealt with enough pain and enough hurt, and it's time. It's just, it's time. And, you know, I sat myself down, and I booked my first appointment to go in, and I did not turn back. And that entire year then, you know, I started my HRT, and I knew instantly within just, you know, a few weeks of being on my hormones that this was definitely the right choice. This was the right move. Like, I can't even explain it, and I'll do a whole video on my HRT journey, like starting hormones and like the results and stuff that I've seen and changed in that. Um, so yeah, I, it just, it felt like a cloud had like been lifted off of me. Like I felt obviously super freaking emotional. Like, let me tell you, I was a hot ass mess. But the feeling of kind of like, it's like you can relate to yourself for the first time in your life, like body and like soul. And that felt wonderful. And then I did my name change and all. I like got my gender markers changed on all my legal documents and stuff too, which, by the way, is a pain in the ass, you know, and it is so much work and stuff. But you know what? If it's something that you really want, it's definitely worth the BS, to say the least. And yeah, so like I said, I haven't turned back since. I am now 3 years and 3 months on hormones at this point. Um, and it just feels wonderful. I'm actually getting ready now. I'm prepping for gender confirmation surgery, SRS, sexual reassignment surgery. There's so many different terms for it these days, but I am getting ready to have bottom surgery in 2.5 months. Now, not every trans person wants that, but for me, it is something that I know I need in order to live a happy, complete, and fulfilled life. Um, I'm going to make a lot of videos on a lot of these different topics. I want to, like I said, I want to share my journey. I'm making myself vulnerable and putting myself out there because I know I'm strong enough to, and I'm brave enough to, and you know, I have a voice and I want to use it, and I want to help people out there like you. And even if you're not trans, I want to help educate you on people like me, my community, and you know, because there's just, it affects so many different aspects of your life that people just have no idea of. And you know, people take things for granted a lot. And you know, one thing I just want to say in closing this video is that this is not a chosen life. We did not choose this, and I sure as hell would never wish this upon anyone. Like, why would anyone want to go through all of this? Like, are you kidding me? Now, like I said, and I can't speak for everyone, you know, everyone does want different things within a transition. Everyone feels complete at different times and different parts, which I can definitely do a video on, touching a little bit more on like my perspective of kind of how I feel complete within myself. But you know, just know that like every trans person is different, and we all want, you know, different things. But the bottom line is that this isn't a life that we chose. What I say is that we chose to be happy, and we chose to live a life that is, you know, fulfilled and that feels real to us. So thank you so much for watching. Alright, and in closing this video, I just want to thank you so much for watching. My look today wasn't inspired by anything really. I love the color purple, and I wanted to come on here and start out bright and show off my personality because I'm a very bright and energetic person. And I'm so excited to be starting this. I can't even express to you how long I've been putting this off, and just how passionate I am about wanting to help people. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye. Maybe a little close-up of the look.